Hi guys, welcome back to Infinite Possibilities, the podcast where we explore the lives of amazing people, their choices, challenges and opportunities. And today I have a very special guest, Derek.
Hello, nice, thanks for having me.
Yeah, no worries. And yeah, Derek, how did we meet? This will be a fun story.
How did we meet? Well, I was just editing at Joyce Ackroyd.
Dude,
This
don't
is
say
now-
too much info.
Yeah, it's just my editing space now. Sometimes my friends join me. Sometimes I study here. I think it's a very underrated study space. And
Yeah,
then,
no one knows about it because you have to go through these sliding doors and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
And then you came in. I
Yeah.
guess that's what Infinite Possibilities is about, you know?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, and I wanted to ask you about some room booking stuff, and then I'm not actually part of this department, so I was like, oh man, I better quickly ask, quickly leave. But turns out you're not either. So I didn't feel bad after that. Yeah. So let's start from the beginning. Where were you born?
Well, I was born in Hong Kong. I've been there for 15 years, and then I moved to Brisbane in 2017.
Yeah.
Started a few years of high school, which was it was an interesting experience. Definitely made me grow a lot as a person.
Yeah. Any big culture shocks coming from Hong Kong to Brisbane?
Not really. I guess people here people just like partying a lot.
Oh.
Yeah, that was it, and I had to get used to that lifestyle.
Wow.
A bit.
Did you turn into a party animal?
I'm still trying to, but I don't really drink a lot, but I try to
Yeah.
just dance around.
Yeah. Oh,
Make
that's
people
cool.
feel like I'm involved.
Pretend to be involved.
Yeah.
Well, I'm definitely not a party animal. Don't even like alcohol. So, yeah, alcohol makes me super sleepy. But so in high school, did you have any thoughts about career paths and how did you decide you wanted to study education?
Well, I guess career is something, it always changes. I think one thing I don't realize is that people always have expectations of who they want to be.
Yeah.
But high school actually isn't the deciding factor of everything,
Yeah.
although it is very important. But in terms of teaching, it was never a priority of mine, but I was sort of encouraged into it. I think I've been encouraged by my teachers, family, friends. They think that I'm right to be a teacher, which is something that I didn't know about myself.
Yeah.
But as I continued tutoring, doing, running retreats, and I realized
what retreat?
So I work with this passionate youth retreat team, and so we just go around schools in Australia and run activities for them. Talk about personal development, building relationships, and I realized how much I enjoyed working with kids, and it became more and more in line with my personality, and on the practical side, teaching is beneficial for getting a permanent residency.
Wow,
So, yeah.
real facts here.
Yeah. So it's one of the high demand jobs in high demand. So
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I know my cousin. Yeah, he also wanted to get PA, and then
Really?
yeah, and then and then it was teaching or agriculture, and then he was agriculture.
Agriculture, okay.
Yeah. So you said that people encouraged you into it. So what kind of skill set do you need to be a teacher? A lot of patience, definitely.
You do have to be patient, otherwise you shouldn't be teaching. But I guess just really wanting to be there, wanting to contribute, wanting to see people succeed.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of teachers sometimes assume that students are supposed to know certain things, and then usually you want to, because everyone learns differently, and you can't apply the way that I can't apply the way that I learn into how people learn.
Yeah.
So it's just finding ways to respond to their needs. But people say that a lot, respond to their needs, tailor to the different characteristics of different students. But it's all practical. There's no fear. You can study a lot of theories about teaching, but it really comes to how you interact with the student, how you connect with them, form an authentic connection.
Yeah, that's true. That customization thing is a big thing now.
Yeah.
But like, how can you customize when you have like a group of like, I don't know, 20, 30 people?
Yeah.
Maths A, Maths B, Maths C.
Yeah, this is something I'm trying to work on. I'm someone who likes small groups more than
Big groups.
Facilitating. I think there is a big skill in facilitating big groups.
Yeah.
And I really like tutoring because it's one-on-one basis.
Yeah.
But that's something I'm still trying to build up. I think facilitating a group of individuals.
Yeah.
So that it allows, I'm giving them just enough guidance so they could sort of guide themselves to direct their own learning. Which is a skill that, I'm still
and make
trying
them
to build.
love learning. That's the most
Exactly,
important part, right?
yeah.
When you're gone, they'll be like, oh, my teacher Derek back in the day helped me love to read.
You have to reinforce it, even though they might not like it at first. Resilience is
that's a
key.
key word. You must be preaching that at all the schools. Resilience, guys. Grit was like my high school thing. Yeah, but did you like have any, I don't know, special teachers in your life or like bad teachers? And like, what kind of student were you? Were you one of those like struggle to learn, so you want to like, I don't know, teach other people better or something? Any kind of the sort?
Yeah, I had a lot of teachers who respected me. So
I thought you were going to say the opposite.
But I guess it sort of makes up for my limited social life back in high school. So then I liked talking to teachers rather than my own cohort. So that's how I spend my lunch times. And
really?
Hanging out in the staff room.
Wait, do they allow you to do that?
Sometimes not hanging in the staff room, but sometimes just
consultation that lasts 1 hour.
Playground duties, and just hanging out with them and just having meaningful conversations with them. So I've worked pretty hard to get to where I need to. I'm not naturally
smart.
I'm not naturally smart. Yeah, you're right. I'm not naturally as intelligent as some people are, but I sort of work hard to make up for it. Some people have this incredible ability to not revise and still get really good grades. It's like in my literature classes. There are some people who don't read, but they just know what the book's about.
Oh, what? Wow, the 1 minute summary.
I don't have that incredible skill of.
It makes you work harder, man. But so unfair, man. When people they don't use their advantage to the fullest. I'm like, I have to work like 10 hours where you have to work out 5 hours.
It is unfair. Some people it's just so easy for some people. Different people have different strengths, I suppose.
Yeah, that's true. And so when you say like you hung around like in the like teacher's room at like lunchtime, like was this like mainly like a thing in high school? Did that kind of happen in Hong Kong? Because I don't know if like in Hong Kong were the teachers as easy to talk to, or was there more about like a power difference?
Primary school teachers were pretty horrible.
Tell me
they're just authoritative and irrational, and so I guess I complained quite a bit because it was just irrational. If you turn your head around, it's almost like you're punished for
nothing,
implying that you're about to talk to someone. So you have to face the front, and then I went to this school called YMCA of Hong Kong Christian College. That was more that's where I picked up my English skills from, because it was not an American-based school, but it was internationally based. So you've got teachers from UK, US, Australia.
Oh, that's awesome.
Western countries, and you've got students from different countries.
So that's primary school, or that's like that's a high school, right?
So that's secondary school. So that's the first few years of high school, and looking back, I would have worked harder back in that high school, which was, I'd say, better, but like I sort of took it for granted. I didn't know how good the school was until I left it.
Wow.
But I still have a good relationship with teachers there, and some students I stay in contact with. So like it was I left the school with a good memory, because it's always good to have that feeling where they want you to come back and they miss you.
When you're rich and famous, like, hey,
Yeah.
Derek, do you remember?
I don't know about that, but yeah, that's something I remember, you know.
Yeah.
Them.
And when you say it was like a good school, are you saying like in terms of like prestige ranking or like the teachers, like when you say you didn't max out of what was there?
Yeah, I never really cared about ranking with school.
Like your parents do.
Yeah, my parents actually, they actually aren't like the typical Asian parents. They don't pressure me to do things. If anything, they tell me to put less pressure.
Is it alright if I put up some stickers?
Oh yeah, go
Yeah,
for it.
sure. We're just having a chat. Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing it like a film.
Yeah, like.
Yeah, but
Well, I remember in primary school, one of my teachers didn't want me to go to YMCA because they think the ranking is not as high as other schools. So I personally don't think rankings are that important. You can still achieve good outcomes, good grades, and you can still work hard, and with the right support, you can get the grades you want. And there were a lot of high achieving students in our school anyway.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like, the ranking didn't really imply anything other than just how the school is compared to the others.
Yeah.
So like, I think ranking's more of a reputation sort of thing that some people really, really value, but if you're not having a good experience at school, I don't think ranking matters.
Yeah.
You could be the best at a low-ranked school, or you could be the worst at a high-ranked school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess ranking is only just like one indicator.
Yeah.
Yeah, of like, I don't know, the supposed quality and stuff like that.
I mean, there will be some of the quality, like you can't really rank it until you
The intangibles.
have received, until you've received the education.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and so I guess from YMCA, that was like probably just your parents' choice, right? Go to that school, and then like, how did you? I don't know. I guess it was your parents' choice also to come to Australia.
Well, YMCA was both my choice and my parents' choice. So we usually talk about what we really want, so like, it's never just a single decision. In terms of going elsewhere, not just Australia, but it was always my mother's intention to like study abroad.
Oh, really?
Just to see the world, how it's like. So like, it was always like, so that was always, since the first day I was born, it was her intent that I had to travel somewhere.
Yeah.
Whether it's good or bad, at least I get to broaden my perspective and how things are like. And so yeah, that's why we chose Australia.
Yeah, but what were the like other options on the list? Like, let's imagine a different life for Derek.
A
Right?
different life,
America?
America or
England,
UK was my top choice.
Really? Oh, how's that? Movies or something? I don't know.
Shakespeare, culture, the language, Christopher Marlowe, everything, Mr. Bean. UK is just like, it just has such a rich culture.
Yeah, but the weather's terrible. No sunshine, man.
A bit expensive, unfortunately. So Australia, I could still play golf in. And living conditions are pretty good, and so that's why we chose here.
Yeah, that's cool. Good choice. I mean, that's why you're here today, right now, sitting in this
Sitting
classroom.
in this room,
but kind of interesting. You know, life could be very, very different.
Good, You make a different choice, and you don't know whether each choice is good or bad. I think every choice is valid in a way. You can't really talk about how would I have done things differently.
You change one thing, you change everything.
Exactly.
The butterfly effect. Have no regrets in life, guys.
Exactly. So true.
Yeah, but then I also saw on your Facebook you started, making films like early on, animated films. Were you still in Hong Kong, or was that like a thing when you came to Australia?
I used to do comics. So they were like storyboards in a way, visual storyboards. And then I switched to animation because I think people in this day and age don't really like reading. So I thought, having moving objects, moving images might sort of stimulate their interest a bit more. And then that's how I got into animation, really. And with my first film, The Blonde Effect.
Tell me more.
What
inspired it?
It's just high school, just all these
drama.
Yeah,
it's pretty dramatic, right?
Yeah, very, very dramatic. You know, all these narcissistic gossips, and then you know, people's naive beliefs about love and don't know what love is, and then just it was pretty personal, and it's just, you know, the dialogue in terms of dialogue is just based on interactions I hear every day. So it became a pretty organic writing process, and you know, using a high school genre, because high school films are usually an appealing genre, but I didn't want to approach it as a high school film.
Yeah.
So there's a chance to, you know, mix in music that I like.
Yeah.
It's almost like a...
Dude, I'm surprised there's no like audio component. I was like waiting for, I was like, oh damn, I have to read the subtitles.
Yeah, it was meant to be a comic, but I'm planning to do a restoration at some point. If anyone's interested to do voice work, and back then I didn't have any resources, so I had to make everything myself. So which made me learn how to use resources at my own disposal.
Yeah, you use the limited of what you
Limited, yeah, just myself, me spending 6 hours, 8 hours a day animating it. And then, but yeah, it was the first film that was just pretty cohesive.
Yeah.
In terms of having a structure, having proper characters.
Yeah.
And it's just really, it really taught me a lot about the process of making a film.
Yeah.
And made me want to make more.
Yeah, that's cool. But I guess, how did you decide that you wanted to put it on Facebook? And then just like, I know there are like some geniuses, right? They like, in their bedroom, they just do it. And then like, you know, when they become famous, they're like, okay, here's what I made in primary school, high school. But yeah, it takes a lot of courage to share.
Yeah, it does. And it's also, I remember the reception of it was quite polarizing. But it was the first film that, you know, that it sort of started a bit of a discussion in a way.
Yeah.
So like, I think people who were attached to it really related to the story.
Yeah.
Even showing it to people who didn't go to my school,
Yeah.
they thought it sort of captured the authenticity of what high school is like, which I guess is a good thing. And but just wanting to share it, you know, I think really, film is something that storytelling is like, you get to communicate who you really are.
Yeah.
Truthfully, sincerely.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have conversations, you know, that might be quite, I wouldn't say meaningless, but it's all pretty mundane and they're all the same.
Yeah.
It's really hard to find a deeper connection.
Yeah,
you know.
to randomly ask a deep question.
Yeah.
Out of the blue. Yeah, that's cool. And you said one was very polarizing, so did you get some haters?
Well, inevitably you get haters for anything.
What does that look like in high school? Is it just like rude messages on Facebook, or is it like, I don't know, confrontational people like like in your classroom, like, hey Derek, about that? Was that character about me?
I guess you hear a conversation like that, and I try not to answer them. I just leave it up to their interpretation. Because I don't think what I say would add to anything. But I guess like all high school dramas, it fades away because the new one comes in.
Yeah.
So it will immediately be overshadowed by something else.
Yeah,
But
that's cool.
I did remember, there's a lot of discussions about who it's based on.
Yeah. Is it obvious enough, or did you like make like an effort to sort of hide?
Well, it's open to interpretation, so it depends on what they think. But yeah, I mean, all narratives are based on reality to some extent. I mean, that's how you tell a universal story.
Yeah.
That's how you capture a human experience. So all stories the seed is sort of planted from reality. You do have to take some basis from the world around you. And I guess it's also about learning the skill of, can you just tell a story that's based on your own, but can you tell a story of an experience that you might not have been through, but can you make that authentic? So that's something that I try to wrestle with. So which is why I guess writers do a lot of research, because you don't necessarily have to, let's say if you're writing about the medieval period, obviously you haven't been there, but how do you make it authentically so that people from a different time can still relate to it? So writing about something outside of your personal experience is also, I think, a pretty important skill.
Yeah, definitely. That's empathy right
Yeah,
there.
it is, exactly, yeah. Empathy, compassion.
Yeah. Wait, and give us some quick highlights. What did you learn about? You said you wrote something about love, themes of unrealistic expectations. Spill out the juice.
That's right, juice.
Yeah, and
Yeah, I guess I've been interested in not the I think sometimes the pursuit is more interesting than actually being in love. Yeah, it's more of the chase of it, and I guess.
Yeah, and then when you get it, you're like, oh damn, is that it?
yeah. It's always it's like, I guess, relationships. It's like an unpaid job.
Yeah.
You have to put a lot of work in, but
you might not even get the job in the end.
Yeah, you might not get it. Yeah, too many disappointments. But I guess I think it's just I think important thing is self-love. I think people chase romance like to fill some sort of void. Yeah, and that's, I guess, not, and it's just really destructive to personal self-esteem, and it's not worth it if you have to destroy your own self-esteem, question how valid you are just to get someone's approval, but rather I guess it's more of an extension of a full life. So I guess it's just about learning to build a full life is probably a better starting point.
Yeah, I completely agree. I know there are like some themes in love. It's like, the other person is like your other half. It's supposed to complete you, right? 0.5 plus 0.5. But like in reality, like what if you guys were like both a solid 1 and then you came together and became like a 3 or something? Or like a 2.
Yeah.
So
you're never meant to be perfect. Like, it's whether you're perfect for each other.
Yeah.
That's sort of something that I wrestle with.
Yeah.
And then I guess, people on social media, they like to take photos of themselves, cuddling someone, and then that's look how happy my life is, and that's what everyone should strive for.
Yeah, setting the unrealistic expectations. But like just having one photo, it's just so 2D, right? Like you don't see them fighting, you don't see the serious conversations, and you don't see the commitments behind it and the responsibilities. But like it's obviously rewarding to have someone to share something with, but I just think I guess it's not about chasing expectations that are unrealistic. Yeah. You always, that's true. Wow. But dude, you're like so young.
I know.
And how did you? I don't know. Like, did you have anything that made you grow up faster per se, or like, man, I only started thinking about this stuff when I'm in uni. I'm like 4th level uni, and he's like 2nd year uni. So
like I'm still trying to be more practical. Still trying to understand better how the world works.
Yeah.
I guess I don't have much to think about, I suppose, but. Just trying to be. I guess that's why I feel like I'm at a spot where I'm not really an adult, but I don't really fit in with teenagers yet. So
you feel too old, man.
I'm a bit too old to be a teenager, but too young to be an adult, because there are still things that I'm not experienced about. So like, so I'm in this sweet spot where I'm still trying to discover how to improve myself. And because a lot of times when you're at fault at something, when there's a conflict, I sometimes like to think I'm the one at fault. So I take too much responsibility for it, for everything I do. But a lot of people in this day and age, people are quite egotistic.
But
I guess there's a difference between being egotistic and being confident. I guess a lot of people.
The line is so fine.
Like, some people are really confident at what they do.
But I think this one is hard to tell purely through their actions. You really have to see into their thoughts to see how they feel about the way they, present themselves. If it's like coming from a sort of narcissistic kind of thing, so you never know.
Yeah, but I think everyone, universally, we all go through the same feelings and emotions. It's just we hide it in how we present ourselves. Yeah, exactly. How we present ourselves.
We fill the void with something else.
Exactly. It's just some people are better at concealing their emotions and expressing it in a different way. So like, rather than reacting to something, they have very good ways of responding maturely. Which is something that I'm always trying to develop.
That's cool. Do you know what your Myers-Briggs is? Personality type? Or no?
I forgot.
Oh my gosh.
I had a look.
Introvert
yeah.
or extrovert? I know
I'd
it's like,
say,
it's not that.
I'd say, yeah, I remember that, yeah. It's really, like, yeah, it was the Myers-Briggs theory. It's more like, can you be an introvert, but you also like performing?
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah. So,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, some people like singing a lot on stage, even though they're introverts. So
Yeah.
I'd say I'm introverted, but with the right opportunity, with the right people, I can be very sociable.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
yeah, it's just about finding the right group. And I'm not really a large group person.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure whether that's an advantage or a disadvantage, but yeah.
I guess in terms of reach, it depends what you want to do, right? If you're like
Yeah.
making a film and you want to get
Yeah.
everyone on board and you want to like capitalize on
Yeah.
your network, then it's great to be an
Yeah.
extrovert. But I guess
I
it's
guess
like quantity and quality
Yeah,
sometimes.
I guess making the films, like with my new films, it's made me more extroverted. I never thought I could be a director, and
Yeah.
to take the initiative to reach out to all these people who want to work with me, and having their trust that even though I'm a first-time director,
Yeah.
the set just felt, it's just that I was still able to manage them, and yeah, so.
That's cool. We'll touch on that
Yeah.
tiny bit later. But yeah, I just wanted to add to the extrovert introvert thing. Like the best explanation I have of Myers-Briggs is that like it's kind of like your right hand, left hand, right?
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not
yeah.
that you can't use your left hand, but
Yeah.
naturally your right hand comes more.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, so yeah, that's why I don't know. I feel like I'm like definitely 100% an extrovert,
Yeah.
but I also can be like really introverted, and I don't like really talk to people sometimes, and I get like really tired, and then so I think the truth is always nuanced.
Yeah, it is.
So yeah, wait. So you finished high school, a lot of drama. You created your first comic skit,
Yeah.
and then you went into university and you studied education,
Yeah,
studying.
education. So majoring in maths and English. So a lot of people say it's a strange combination.
It's like both sides of the brain, right?
Yeah,
it's like
it is.
the writing and the quantitative.
Yeah, yes. Usually you'd expect like a math science combo or English humanities combo.
Yeah.
But I wanted to do both of everything.
Yeah. You want the best of both worlds,
I
right?
do, yeah, I do, exactly. It's too precious to give up one for the other.
Yeah.
And maths is, I like the discipline
at
of
maths?
maths. Well, I suppose I am. I worked one.
Asian. Not kidding. Not to reinforce stereotypes.
Worked hard. I worked hard to get to where I'm at. But English is something, that I like reading. I like to learn more about different mediums, different poems, different narratives, and maths is, I guess, the more practical subject in terms of getting me a job.
Yeah.
But I don't want to, at the same time, I'm not saying English teachers. I think English teachers are equally valid, and I think critical skills are equally crucial in English.
Yeah.
I remember doing this course in literature. It was called Thinking About Literature, Criticism and Theory. It was unlike any other English course that I've done. It wasn't about just reading a book and then what is it about, what themes are it. It was more about deconstructing the reading process. Like, why is reading crucial to society? And it forces you to be analytical about how does literature speak to social progress, and how do writers take like a common language that we use, we communicate, and then put it into words. Yeah. So there is some sort of basis of reality. So like it just shows that you can apply the same critical thinking skills from maths and science to English.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Transferable skill.
it is, yeah. And then English obviously helps me to be a better writer. You can watch so many films, but it gets to a point where your visual style can be influenced by a lot of directors, but in terms of telling a convincing narrative, really it comes from books. I mean, all good directors have to read a lot of books, like David Lowery or David Cronenberg reads a lot. A lot of directors. Stanley Kubrick reads a lot. Stanley Kubrick failed English and adapted, all his screenplays are adapted from books, from great works of literature. So How do you explain that? I mean,
Yeah.
it just shows that the love of reading doesn't have to be restricted to academic basis.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. But I guess that's how sort of school sort of frames it. That it's like, you know, just for English, not like really into like other aspects of your life. So that's kind of sad, but I guess you would change that
I
when you're a
will,
teacher.
hopefully, yeah.
Yeah.
Start a revolution.
Yeah. So were you like an avid reader when you were younger, or did this just come about, I don't know, like second half of high school or?
Yeah, I wasn't really, you know, I know a lot of literature. I have a lot of literature friends who read a lot more than I do, so
Yeah.
it just pushes me to read more because they are so intellectually, you know, the insights they share, it's inspiring. So I guess I'd say probably the second half of my teens where I started reading more.
Oh.
So I was, you know, I was instructed to read. I like reading, but I guess throughout the second half of high school and obviously now doing English, I'm more encouraged to read.
Yeah.
And now it's giving me motivation to read more text, you know. You know, yes, I study a lot of, you're given a lot of classic texts that you have to read, you know, from, you know, the Renaissance period.
Yeah.
But, you know, doing literature has pushed me to, you know, go a bit above and beyond, so like start discovering texts myself.
Yeah, the niche ones, no one knows
so
about.
like, I'm currently reading Sir Gawain the Green Knight, and this is one of those medieval poems.
Ooh,
and
very cool.
and yeah, it's just sometimes I get bored and read Roald Dahl.
Yeah.
Like
I love Roald Dahl.
Yeah, rereading
Yeah.
the
Fantastic Mr. Fox for the win.
I was rereading The Witches recently.
Yeah.
And then, so yeah, it's just, and then I like currently doing a course on Shakespeare and started appreciating plays a lot more.
Yeah.
In terms of just seeing how they're performed.
Yeah.
Because plays are very ambiguous in nature. So you can't really understand what a play transcript is about.
Yeah.
It's back in the 1500s. There weren't a lot of stage directions. So you don't have things like set in a castle or set in a London street. You probably don't have that. You probably just have dialogue.
Yeah. And then you have to like figure out where it fits in the
Yeah.
context.
And that, which is the beauty of plays, because you're meant to see them perform. The characters, just, you know, their persona, they sort of personify the internal and external nature of the story. And then, so yeah, watching plays perform is another art form in itself.
Yeah. Wow. Man of culture. Yeah, but you know, I guess like a lot of people, they don't really go into literature because it's like hard, especially like the classics and the plays. So like, was it something that you like built up per se, like, you know, running on the treadmill, gonna up the speed?
Yeah, I'm still trying to, a lot, like in literature, beauty is because I learn so much from other people.
Yeah.
A lot of people read a lot more than I do. Yeah. And sometimes I feel like I'm behind. I need to keep up. And with literature isn't something you can make up, although there are a lot of snobby intellectuals who hasn't read a book and claims they know a lot about it.
Yeah.
But those who, a good literature person really knows what they're talking about. Which section they're referring to, and they then are able to take, you know, what they've read and then come up with such mature insights, and they know so much, and then sometimes it makes me feel like I should read more, and it pushes me to read more because of that, so you could sort of keep up with their conversations.
Yeah. Is this like your friends, or is this like people on the internet, or?
Yeah, just I guess with my friends, I'm very fortunate to, you know, in classes. You just want to sort of keep up with their intellectual capacity, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
It pushes you to be better.
Yeah. Wow. So people like studying like English actually really into literature, like for the education.
I would say probably art students.
Yeah.
So you get a mix of education students and art students.
Oh, that's kind of true.
Yeah, I think art students who do literature are probably the ones
That are really
that can discuss literature in so much depth.
Yeah. Because I was thinking like secondary, like English. I don't think like we went that deep or anything.
No.
So I'm like, who is your friend circle? But that's kind of cool that like you mix with the arts people and that's cool.
And I think you've got obviously education students who they're good at teaching it, and then
Yeah.
art students,
Translating it into like everyday layman terms.
Yeah. But yeah, no, yeah, it's just you want to be better. You want to be aware of your limitations. So it makes me realize, I might not be the expert of everything. So then, just hanging around with these people just
Keeps you humble.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. They say something about like, when someone, they like read one book, they think they know everything. And then there's like people who like, the more they read, the less they know. That's how they feel like, oh my gosh, there's like this unexplored world.
Yeah. It's like, you're trying to deconstruct about literature. Like, does that make the experience of reading less fascinating? Because you already know so much about, how reading functions. But I think that's why it's fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, and then so I guess when you like, high school maybe a bit harder to fit in the peer group. And then how do you feel about like university and university friendships?
So it's improved a lot significantly, but I still float around trying to find it.
Tribe.
It's still, there are different groups that I've been with, go on and off, and I don't, I'm personally pretty independent, so I don't really my focus isn't on having a big friend group.
Yeah.
But I float around, and but and with university, because there are so many people, so you can always find someone else to hang out with.
Sad, you're replaceable.
Yeah. But it's been great. I don't have much expectations for it, but as long as if a person keeps me motivated, if I feel like I belong, if I feel like
if you like yourself more.
If it motivates me to be a better person, and if it's rewarding to hang out with them, then by all means, I'm pretty approachable. But I guess, in a big social group, you try to sort of say things just to fit into, everyone's laughing at all these jokes, hold a few drinks together.
Yeah.
You can have friends, there's so many ways you can make friends. How do you classify a friend? You could have a drink with someone, and
that's an acquaintance.
Have a drink with someone, go to a party, that's a friend. And then you can have a friend, who you just meet for, I wouldn't say transactional purposes, but
your classmate friends, your group friends.
Help you get voted or help you do your assignment.
Yeah.
But it's just about connecting with those who really care about, making a deeper connection.
Yeah. Friends who are like eager to also be friends is like a big one.
Wanting to really care about what you feel. To really want to know, not just the usual, hey, how are you doing?
Yeah.
But I guess it's just about
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't do the recording.
No, it's all good.
No,
Yeah.
All good.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I'll just get some water. You cut that bit out.
Nah, it's fine. I'm not going to cut anything out. Too lazy.
Yeah.
This is what happens in the interview.
Okay, so that part of it. We should have a tea next time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for your next guest. Yeah. Have a table set up and then have a coffee.
Yeah, but I also need a better room because like this room, I'm like I can see them like coming. I'm like, okay, someone's gonna knock.
Yeah.
But just wondering like how diverse is your friend group? Do we have like if I were to like look into Derek's friend group, is it like random, like a lot older, a lot younger, across faculty, or is it mainly within the arts? Would you say?
I've got a few older friends. I've got a few adults.
Oh, how old are we
adults,
talking?
married, or some above 40, 50s. Some people I play golf. Some people I play golf with, and some of my teachers who are still my friends. And then my other friend groups are currently with my film crew.
Yeah.
So they're sort of in my age group.
Yeah.
So we just, have fun, watch films and write together, edit films together, and then a few, my actors, I'm very fortunate to get to know them, see how they deliver their craft. And then obviously literature students where, you know, you just go to the book clubs and I also work in this BookTube project. BookTube. So it's like YouTube channel for books.
That one.
Yeah,
That's a student staff partnership.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You should watch some of our videos. Got a new one
sure.
up tomorrow. The Dark Academia.
Wow. Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
so
Just wondering, do you also know this YouTuber called R.C. Walden? Because he like talks about like a lot of literature stuff. He's like in Melbourne, and I was like, damn, you sound like you like his stuff.
I think I do. Yeah, I should get in touch with him.
Yeah.
But I guess my friend group and then a few education friends and then mostly people I work with. So like Passionist Retreat Team.
Yeah.
So some of the people from Passionist Retreat Team are actually in my film.
Oh,
So
very
so
cool.
it was great to sort of work in an environment with people that I know.
Yeah.
You've got these really good actors that, you know, it's the first time I'm working with them.
Yeah.
And it makes me elevate my game. But at the same time, you also got people that I know.
Yeah.
So then it's always a nice balance
Yeah.
when you're making your first film and to have really good, you know, people who are really, really professional, but also people who makes me relax and on my back a little bit. But so my friend group's sort of all over the place. But you know,
Best of all worlds.
Mix of all worlds, yeah. And I don't really have to go to a lot of parties and to feel happy.
Yeah.
I don't really make friends, you know, in a party unless I go with people that I know.
Yeah.
But like it's funny. Like I used to be the last person who was invited. I was never invited to anything. But then when I was invited, I feel like turning them down for some reason. Yeah, it's ironic.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a bit like relationships. It's the pursuit of it.
Yeah.
Then when you have it, do you want it?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. And wow, so you've been hyping about this film. So
let's dig into it. Yeah.
Right? So first is like, you know, like your second year, like when did the movie start, and then maybe how did you get the actors and what your film's about?
So, Flying Solo. So it's about a pilot who may or may not have lost his job, and his wife may or may not know about it. So,
Is this like a COVID like thing? Like,
you have to see it to find out.
How long is it?
It's like a 9-minute film.
Oh,
So,
it's
yeah.
quite short.
It is a pretty short film, and so I've been working on it, the script in start of the year. So like, it wasn't my priority to set it in like a pandemic world, but the sort of settings of the world we're living in sort of melded itself into it.
Yeah.
But so like, it was, and then I started reaching out. So initially I was just going to animate it, because I didn't expect that I'll be getting an opportunity to direct. But so Ace, our cinematographer, I work with him in Passionist. He does a lot of commercial work. He was actually the driving force of it.
Oh.
So he actually approached me before I had the script finished and said he wanted to work on a film.
Mm-hmm.
So
How did you meet him?
it's just through Passionist Retreat Team where we work together, and he does a lot of web design and wedding videography, but he's never done films, and he wants to. He's enticed by it, so he just approached me and said, well, he wanted to work on it, and he was really the driving force of, you know, getting it made, and so he had a lot of, you know, professional equipment that was able to supply for us, which really
that's the really important part.
Yeah, it's really important. Like, it really elevated the film, like in terms of giving assurance to the actors who you want to feel like, you know, you trust. You want to feel like the set.
Man.
Yeah, you want to feel like the set is, you know, well managed, and then I started, you know, looking for ways to reach out with actors. You know, the ideal plan, you know, usually for people starting a short film is, you know, work with your friends.
Yeah.
But it's really a step up, you know, in fact a challenge, working with actors who have done theatre, who've done drama, and you know, they have a very sophisticated process they bring. Not just how to act, but also collaborating with them in sort of making changes to the script. So like, because you always want to harness the instincts of actors.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I never say no whenever they have a suggestion they will have. So meeting with them was cool. And
Yeah, wait, so you reached out to them like, hey, I have this film flying solo. Or did you like reach out through like mutual friends of like, I don't know, Ace or someone? How did you like, I mean, like a lot of people, they're going to be like, oh, spam.
yeah, I just sort of reached out to people who want to study drama, and then I reached out to
like at the university?
Yeah, at the university. I also reached out to people who studied music, and we've got a fantastic composer on board.
I saw them.
Yeah, she is
So
fantastic. Her score really elevated the film, and it was a great challenge for her. She's composed a lot of great short film scores before, and she's won a few competitions, I believe. But it's her first time recording live, so she usually does it on GarageBand.
Yeah.
But it's the first time. So we had a recording session a couple of days ago, and she's recording instruments live and then mixing it. But she handled it really professionally. When I was watching her at the mixing desk, it felt like she knew what she was doing. She was very, very concise with where she wants the beat to come in.
Yeah, my God.
Where it's too fast, slow, and when you go in, you don't want to talk to her, you don't want to interfere with the person. You just want to sit back and.
You're in good hands.
Yeah, we're in good hands, and also the ending was a jazz theme. It's her first time writing jazz, so like it didn't feel like her first time.
Yeah.
But we always talked about wanting to use jazz as a nostalgic way to end the film, and it's an incredible score, and I think I'd probably say the biggest reason why people should see the film. Yeah, it's the original score.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very professional. So, on the other hand, how does imposter syndrome feel like?
Imposter so I'm thinking my script's really boring or all that. Yeah, it is a challenge, and even with because it's not a genre film. So like, how do I get people engaged in a film that isn't a horror film or
comedy
or comedy or genre? So like it's because I sort of take my roots from old classic Hollywood.
Oh.
I really I'm always a fan of watching films that hold their shots a bit longer. So you've got your modern films where you just have shot reverse shot. Let's say I'm having a conversation with you, and you have a camera here over my shoulder, and I have a camera over your shoulder.
Yeah.
And usually, the easiest way, I guess, for most people to cut dialogue is just go back, forth, no blocking. So, and then I'm a big fan of wide shots, and you don't always have to use close-ups. I think.
Yeah.
I think you can have the same level of intimacy through wide shots, and for some people that might be a bit like boring, I suppose. Like the pacing.
Yeah.
But you do want to preserve those moments. It's like you watch those Ingmar Bergman films, Swedish cinema, and how Ingmar Bergman's shots are really long. It just holds on to their faces for an extended period of time. But I guess, that was the biggest imposter syndrome was I know what the themes of my film are. It's about can you, be honest to your loved ones and all that sort of thing. But it's just about will people be engaged by the pacing of it, and we really, all of us working on it, really trusted that was the right way to tell the story.
Yeah.
And it's just how it speaks to audiences.
Yeah, that's so true, right? It's like being true to yourself, or I don't know, adapting it for
Yeah.
the wild success.
Yeah. For the demographic, the marketing.
Yeah. Do you know who it's kind of targeted towards? Like uni students or wait, dude, I think this is a bit more mature. Maybe like.
Yeah, I certainly hope it's more mature. I certainly hope people of all ages watch it, because it is quite universal.
Yeah.
We all take pride in the profession we're in.
Yeah.
To lose that pride can be quite challenging. It's just dealing with ego, but I think when you make a film, you can't really control who you're making it for.
Yeah.
You just try to...
You make it for yourself, to be honest.
Well, not really. You don't want to be that self-indulgent person where it's all me and everything I put in on screen must be fabulous. But you just want to... The best way to tell a good story is really, if you take the right steps in, okay, planning your shots carefully and, you know, having lots of chats with your actors before you go on set, and then, you know, just making sure the whole crew shares the same vision. You take all these right necessary steps, and hopefully everything we're doing is trying to maximize audiences' engagement.
Yeah.
And hopefully that's when we solve problems together, and hopefully that's when the film or final product ultimately speaks to audiences.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. And how did you come up with the idea of flying solo? Is it like personal experience, or is it like observation, or?
Yeah, I guess this is the first script where it's more observation of the world around me and doing more research and challenging myself to write a story, you know, about a marriage, which is outside of my personal experience.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, are you married?
Too young. Yeah.
Yeah.
Still searching.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just challenging myself to, not just make a film that's set in, you know, the pandemic, but also, you know, stories about facades, about barricades, you know, how we're not honest even with our loved ones.
Yeah.
So like, it's just those ideas sort of blended into, you know, and then also, plus my love for golden age of Hollywood film. So in a way, it doesn't really feel like a modern film.
Yeah.
It almost has this, I hope it has this sort of classical, vintage feel to it. And but so the writing process, it was only, the actual writing process of the script wasn't too long. It was more about just keeping a notebook of a long list of scenes that I had in mind.
Yeah.
So the genesis of the idea was really just a husband leaving his house in his pilot suit.
Yeah.
What does he do the rest of the day?
Yeah.
That was it. That was the genesis. Yeah, that was really the genesis of the idea. And then by making it a short film, I try to keep the essence of this idea as the driving force.
Yeah.
So I think, and then it does set up for great conflict.
Oh.
Yeah, so, which is why it's just about harnessing, you know, the facade, you know, of an idyllic, happy marriage.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
breaking it.
Yeah.
Oh, that must be very rewarding. Yeah, but that's kind of cool. Like, I guess the theme is like very timeless. Like, you know, people, I guess, I don't know what marriage will look like in 100, 200 years. Maybe we'll be called something else, called open relationship. Yeah, but that's kind of cool. So hopefully it would be around for a long time. But wait, so what about in terms of like actors? Because just wondering, so you've written like the script, and like how do you like, you know, reach out to actors? Are you like, oh, you have like a person in mind already, and then you sort of like fit it, or do you like, oh, anyone can play this role?
I try not to write with actors in mind until, so like the first drafts, the first 10 drafts or whatever, you try not to write with actors in mind. So you just really try to develop.
It's hard not to, right? You sort of like have like an ethnicity allocated to them or something.
Yeah. You do have a conception of who the character is, but I sort of leave an open space. So when I cast the right actor, it's sort of, they sort of bring something to the table for me. So I think I had, halfway through first draft of my script, I had Harry David, who was playing the pilot. I think I started having him in mind, and I couldn't sort of shake it off.
Oh.
So he was the first actor that I approached, and in fact the only actor I approached, which was a big risk. I probably should have a few more backups in the future projects, but I just approached him, and he was the only one available.
Yeah.
But in terms of other characters, like the character Bridie, so Howard's wife, so very glad to work with Lucy. She's really good, and I remember my cinematographer kept on telling me that it didn't feel like it was her first time on camera. Because she just knows what she's doing and has a very, very clear process.
Oh.
She really pushed me for, rewriting sections together, and just really identifying subtext to the character. But she wasn't the first person I had in mind. So she very generously invited me to a play that she was in, called Kill Climate Deniers. So it was a play. And the character she played had a very vocal range, very, very over the top, but very charismatic. So I wasn't sure that was what I wanted, but actually, because her character in the play was complete opposite of the film that we're, which is actually a good thing, because it shows that she has range. It shows that she has versatility. So I was really interested in harnessing a more subdued side of her.
Yeah.
And I think it really shows that it allows me to build more trust in holding shots longer, just on her face.
Yeah.
Because there's so much nuance in her face acting. We had a few actresses audition for Bridie.
Yeah.
But they all ended up being in the film, playing other characters.
Oh,
but
that's
it was,
so good.
Yeah. It was more like just allowing me during the audition process take different facets of who Bridie is, based on how different actors portray it. And so why I cast Lucy was because of a working relationship. Just having a good working relationship that I know. She's got these really gleaming eyes. So actually, when you talk to her, she sort of looks at you like she really respects you, and then that was something that convinced me that she cared about the project, and she's very reliable, and she's always responds to her availability, her schedules. And Harry is actually a complete opposite. He's completely, Harry we had to sort of schedule the whole film around him.
Yeah,
He's complete opposite. He doesn't need rehearsals, and he just rocks up on set, but he knows, he just knows the essence of the character, and without any preparation.
Wow.
But that's just his style, and then he goes off script, but ended up making the character, much more relatable. So that's a strength that Harry has.
Yeah.
So it was a great process working with two different actors, seeing how their process. Yeah. I think, Harry. I think Harry likes the scenes with dialogue a lot more. Harry
Likes to talk.
Yeah, Harry likes to talk. Harry's charismatic, theatrical, but I think they were all trying something different. They were all trying things that they've never done before. So Harry's, I think, likes theatrical acting, but most of his scenes don't have any dialogue.
Oh, really?
Until the big revelation scene. So when he goes head to head with Lucy, but that's the scene where he really truly got to unleash
everything.
Yeah, everything. Yeah.
It's like a build-up.
Yeah. It is. Yeah. And Lucy actually, because the script actually has more stage directions than dialogue.
Oh.
She was actually able to sort of convey the subtleties, the unspoken moments, with just her facial language. So yeah, it was a great process, and a chance for me to work with actors, and you want to give them concise directions.
Yeah.
When you're on set. Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of cool. And where can people find this film?
So
is it going to be public?
At the moment, it's debuting at Ibis Film Festival, UQ.
Oh, really?
Before, and then we're trying to take it to Flickerfest.
Oh.
And then festival run. I have a festival run next year. See how many festivals we can submit it to. But it won't make its way online as that soon. So it will mostly, at the moment, we're just looking at a festival run.
Yeah, but it's finished?
it is finished. We're in the final stages of color correction and sound. So, yeah, color correction is actually
A pain?
no,
no.
it's actually a really fun. It's just, it only took me, like, it's not hard to learn, but it's hard to get right.
Yeah.
And so you don't want to over color correct because you want, I think you want to make the colors. I think your raw footage, like what you've shot, will be brilliant with the quality of the camera, but there's a lot of depths you can enhance with colors.
Yeah.
But I think you need the right lights on the day in order to enhance it digitally. So we had, like for one of our scenes, we had a few blue lights because we wanted moonlighting effects. But I guess the challenge of that is being a short film with no budget and with a limited budget and limited time. Without budget, you can't buy time. We obviously didn't have much time to set up lights. So we have to go in pretty much. I had to balance, managing lights and talking to the actors and my cinematographer. So we've got blue lights on the day, but you can always enhance it with, with Premiere, with color correction software, which sort of enhances. But you need practical lights in order to have the freedom to color correct in post-production. So
Yeah, but still a very good job.
I hope.
What can you do? Yeah, you just need it to get one film and then another, and then the quality will slowly.
I hope.
Yeah, but how long did it take to film this video, this film? 9 minutes. I know it sounds like very little, but I bet it's like 10 times.
It's only a 5-day shoot, but it took us longer than 5 days, like in terms of the span of time. So it took I'd say probably 2 months to fit in that 5 days. So we had 2 lockdowns in between. So the first lockdown was actually for the better, because we were going to shoot the big scene with Harry and Lucy on the first day, which would have been impossible, and because there wasn't that much preparation going in. So it gave us more time to prepare for other scenes. So we started shooting in early July. We managed to shoot it, and getting permissions was a pain.
Oh, permissions. As in, were you filming in public? Or was it at your friend's house or something?
We try to film a lot of scenes in public, apart from the mansion scene. And then most of our scenes are done in public. And then because you want to give actors more tactile experiences while performing it. So it's not just at a university cafe or someone's house. And so permissions are, in the city are not the easiest to acquire. I wish the city was a bit more supportive. Letting filmmakers have the freedom to shoot, on the street. So we shot on the street in the city, and I remember we had a difficult encounter on the day.
Tell me more.
We didn't want to sort of misrepresent homeless people, and then we had a homeless person who was a bit, unhappy with what we were doing. I guess there's a lot of misunderstanding of the true intention of the scene, and so it caused a bit of discomfort. And we also had security guards, were gonna not let us film, but we had to insist that it wasn't for profit. But we had to make a lot of phone calls for shooting in the cafes. Because it was a cafe, Riverside Cafe. And luckily we shot it in the morning. And it was a nice location, because the locations we chose, we didn't want it to be indicative of just an Australian setting. We wanted it to look like New York or other European places. And so the locations took a long time to manage before shooting. So probably say June is when we were starting. We were doing camera tests, we were doing rehearsals, just blocking scenes. And then, so we started shooting in July, and then had to put on hold for a couple of weeks. And then when we got back to filming, we faced the second lockdown. So yeah, and that held us back for another 2 weeks, and then we finished the scene in early August, and then we still had one scene we had to complete, and that took a bit of time because of everyone's schedule. So like I said, without money you can't buy time. So you obviously have to work around people's schedule. So it was a 5-day shoot for a span of 2 months.
Oh.
So it's interesting because
5 days, like full days, or
5
full day?
pretty full, I'd say. At least like a whole morning or a whole afternoon. And with the mansion scene, the big scene, we didn't stop. We didn't have dinner. We just kept on going from 2 to 9 p.m. And no food. No, the crew was gonna get food, and we were like, no, we have to. No, we have to finish this. The actors are in the zone. You don't want to interfere with the process.
Yeah.
But like it's hard to like have clarity through such a long time.
Yeah.
It's just
you forget, and to get the wheel rolling again, it's like, hey guys, get into the mood.
Yeah. I think so. It was rewarding because a lot of people were still enthusiastic about seeing the film get made. And it gave us time to have a lot of discussions about subtext of the character. It's me and Lucy. And it also, it gave me more time to plan my shots. Yeah. But you never know how much planning is enough. And it sometimes made me realize you plan the best shots on the day.
Yeah.
You need the plan from storyboarding, but you want to learn to build the shots frame the shots on the day. Which is where you usually discover the best magical moments. And
that's cool.
So you do need a plan for something to fall back on. But usually that plan enables you to be flexible on the day.
Yeah, like a rough scaffold.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, so I think we'll probably wrap up. Is there anything else you want to add? Should I link your... Do you want me to link anything?
Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
No
it's
worries.
been great
Thanks
having this chat.
Here. Yeah, and it was like, I can't believe you agreed to it. That's great.
No, thanks so much. Yeah.
It's hard for me to people have stage fright, people don't want to be on the internet, and then
it's understandable.
Yeah.
But people have social media, so I don't get why they're scared.
But one is I guess to the extent, right? Yeah, but that's cool. So thank you for being on, and
Thanks so much.
no worries. Bye.
Oh, that was great.